right here. I think Silas is incredibly strong and flexible for the way RNG like to play.
True.
But I'm not so sure about Twisted Fate. I feel like Twisted Fate is a champion that actually gets ran down by Mundo or Gragas quite easily.
Yeah.
So this is a champion that blind, I feel like, gives Forge a lot of avenue to kind of come into the game. And we have to remember Forge, he has his Kali up, he has his Silas up, and also the Seraphine up as well. He has a lot of options right here. So I'm not exactly sure this Twisted Fate is gonna pay off given the pressure coming from Rogue Warriors.
I actually don't mind this because it means it's going to be a Gragas top, right? So Gragas top, Seraphine into the mid lane. We actually saw this out of V5 where the Seraphine buffs up the team composition and gives Samira a lot more healing than she already has.
Oh god.
So this is, you know, for Forge, the supportive role, while for RNG, they're going to hit up towards the side lanes to Camille Twisted Fate. Something we saw a lot out of LGD, meaning that we get the Tristana in the bottom lane, Clement, and now it's your turn to describe to me what RNG are trying to do.
RNG have a very strong pick composition, especially against Seraphine. If she's not going to go, usually Seraphines don't go for the cleanses because they need teleport so much. In the early game, if they are able to chain up their CC, their top lane CC combo is absolutely disgusting. All of them have basically point and click hard crowd control. So it's very possible for RNG to kind of just snowball against the Seraphine and Mundo. And if they do so, these are champions that actually don't come back very well. Like Mundo is a champion that wants to full clear his first 2 rotations. He doesn't want any action. He just wants to be able to grow his muscles and hit the gym. And if you're able to disrupt that, Mundo is not a champion that takes very kindly to that. So I think what RNG are drafting for is they're drafting in very neutralizing bottom lane in the Alistar and the Tristana that can keep Samira away. And then they're going to focus on just targeting out this Mundo, making sure Haro, who I think is the best player and the most pivotal carry on Rogue Warriors, never gets going.
Which is a good strategy, right? And you talk about the pick comp, especially when you're going into Samira, it feels really, really bad to be targeted, and that's what Betty will be. With all the supporting factors, with the front line built up, Betty is the damage source on this team, and for Rogue Warriors, they pull out not only the Mundo, but the Seraphine in game number 1 on their return, while RNG have decided to optimize into something that, you know, for Xiaohu, is going to put a lot of emphasis on him as well in this side lane. So we're going to kick it off. Ladies and gentlemen, RNG Rogue Warriors are definitely a necessary game for RNG. They're sitting 6-1. They want to continue their scale up the charts to try and match EDG. And remember, for RNG, this is the last quote-unquote easy game that they have left until FPX, LNG, EDG. After E-Star, it's JDG, Top Esports, then Rare Atom. Their schedule looks hella hard. And for RNG, they need to show us they're in form, ready to take on those teams. So against Rogue Warriors, this is going to be crucial. As always, welcome back to the Rift. And is the deer there? No, we're in the Waterfall of the Dragon. We don't get Alistar watching over us anymore from the New Year break. He's gone and he's waiting for next year. This is an invade, Clement, going through bot side.
Love this cheese coming out from Rogue Warriors. Indeed, they have a lot of crowd control here. The great thing about Mundo is if you tag someone with that infected cleaver, it's very easy to follow up. Has a low cooldown, works a lot like Undertow in these level 1s. But fortunately enough for RNG, they are going to be able to discover this one. And it's only going to be a deep ward drop for Rogue Warriors.
They back away after the fact. I just note as well that for GALA, after walking away, he just sits to the side of the wave. They're waiting to start this blue buff up, but as soon as they do, information will be given over to Haro, who actually made the back and is going up towards his blue himself. I think they predicted this, Clement, and we might see a potential vertical jungle from Haro, depending.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing out of Mundo early is he definitely wants to just be left alone and sort of full clear him. So having opposite paths actually does favor Mundo. It makes sure that he's not going to run into the Udyr, and this is why I think the early level 1 setup did come through for Rogue Warriors. Now, given that, I do want to talk a little bit about Rogue Warriors' composition as it's trade.
Not bad. Continue.
Okay, just a bit of love tap here and there. I think Rogue Warriors really has a hammer against a scalpel. RNG are trying to destroy Haro, try to make sure this Mundo doesn't grow. Sorry, my head sounded sort of ghetto lingual there. But that's what they're trying to do. On the other hand, Rogue Warriors, they just have a ton of raw stats. You're going to be seeing Moonstaff coming out from Seraphine. There's a ton of healing on the Mundo, on the Gragas as well, and Samira operates in the very same way. So if they ever find a chance to just run these players down, RNG actually can't really take the late game team fights without finding a pick first, and that's what they want to that's exactly what Rogue Warriors want to do. I think it's a good approach from them as well, because the team fight is actually pretty easy to execute. You just run face forward into them, try to out-tank all the damage, and you just run RNG off the map.
And then you always got to worry about where Samira is, and it's like, well, can we get through to her anyway? With the front line, you called it the I'm going to call it sledgehammer, you know, not just a hammer, but it's something that breaks through bricks. It's going to be used by Rogue Warriors. I want to also note, while we are talking about the composition of Rogue Warriors, that Haro on this Mundo has done something that across regions we haven't actually seen. Usually it is the fleet footwork moving with the domination tree. As a bit of an engage here onto Ming, doesn't matter as he bops him away. It is this time the resolve for Haro, so a much safer option, as he has gone for, I believe, the resolve. As well as
Revitalized and I think Overgrown.
Thank you, Clement Chew coming in clutch. So a safer option here.
It's a bit of a weaker gank. I think a couple of trees that we have seen being taken right here is the approach velocity, giving you 15% extra movement speed to close out on people. And I think what we're seeing outside of, from Haro right here is a pretty farm-oriented build. He's trying to keep his HP levels high. It's not really about combat stats. You know, there's no cheap shot coming in for him. And it's just a scaling sort of composition for him. And we did see in the first clear, you know, Mundo usually goes pretty damn low in the first clears, below half HP when around Raptors. So I like the idea from Rogue Warriors. They get deep vision early. They make sure that the junglers are heading towards different sides of the map. They never meet each other, and Mundo gets a clear path to level 6.
He gets to go where he pleases, essentially, is what you're telling me, Mr. Chu. So I appreciate that. Haro clears out his full camps, going back now, the timing perfect, and both of these junglers have gone back for that double ruby crystal. Of course, going towards the turbo chem tank is what to be expected for both the Udyr and the Mundo. Right now, a little bit of a tempo advantage for Haro as well. Beauty of the Mundo jungle is much like the Udyr, you have the AoE wave clear with the burning agony, and you'd be surprised at how much damage it does too, so feels pretty nice as, the plan not in motion. Get the camps. Well, he got most of them, and now Wei Wei wants a stun. He'll find it. Goes into Tiger, but with the help of Forge, Wei Wei can't be here. I apologize. I said Wei Wei. We just saw him. This is only the way. So, he's going to do it again. If I was Udyr, I'd just wait here, Clement. But no.
Do pretty much the same thing, and this is what Mundo wants to avoid. You definitely can't take the solo against Udyr early on, but Mundo has a much better scaling aspect. He's basically Udyr with a weaker early game, but a much stronger tank presence and a frontline presence when it comes into the later phase of the game. I love that play coming out from Cryin. You know, he did have the minion dematerializer for a push-in on cannon minion wave, go straight into the jungle. And that chain of events is going to lead into an uncontested Drake. So RNG definitely playing around this Mundo pick quite well. They don't really get the kill punish necessarily, but they are going to milk the early game.
So if the early game's a priority here for RNG, how do you push this further? Is it about waiting for Cryin to hit 6 as he is now and then making plays towards either the top side or the bottom side? Or is there a way that you can play around these objectives?
So I do think the top side is going to be the main focus right here. It's actually fairly difficult for Cryin to find a pick onto the bottom lane, especially when you can block out that gold card coming in with the Blade Whirl. The top lane we have been seeing is RNG's more preferred spot. Wei has been camping for Xiaohu. We have seen Cryin with the gold card plus Camille combo, very effective when that tower actually when the minion wave actually hits the tower. So I do expect that to be the main area of focus coming in from them. And meanwhile, I think Rogue Warriors, it's fairly easy for them to guess this, and what they need to do is just to make sure that minion wave never gets stacking, and whenever Twisted Fate leaves lane, at least have Haro shadow the top side.
Feels like a smart plan, and you know, Haro will be able to stop that slowdown as you already talked about with the infected cleaver, more like the briefcase in this time. This is the best Mundo skin. However, Clement, yesterday I have to alert you that there was another Mundo skin that looked like an Admiral. Now, you're a Mundo player. I'm asking if you actually know this skin.
So that's the chroma from the Ice Mundo. There's like this sort of cracker nut and ice cracker jack nut. I forgot the exact term, but sort of like palace ice theme, and that's one of the chromas to the Mundo. It's not something that you usually see. Personally, I prefer the TPA Mundo. It has a very satisfying clunk sound when you land. When you actually land the infected cleaver, and it reminds me of the glory days of TPA as well.
I was gonna say you like it because it supports the region, brother.
It does. You know, every time you actually purchase that skin, you give a little bit of gold to Lil Balls, excuse me. Even though he might not need the money, it's still a nice gesture.
You call it, a little bit of real life gold. Also known as money to the players who, look, let's be honest, I'd be happy too, you know. TPS
Dude, I don't think LMS would ever be a major region without that win, but we are seeing RNG coming in for the play. Sorry, I got carried away.
No, hey, you let it shine. That's okay, man. You've been a coach, you've been a caster, you're keeping the region alive. You deserve to say this stuff. RNG, you mentioned to make it a play to the top side, and that's going to be Destiny included, but Explosive Cast is still there. Hits 3 people, but the engage from Ming, he holds back so that he can secure first blood over to Wei.
I expected the 3-man, but I don't think anyone expected the 4-man. Really good play coming out of RNG, and I think a lot of it does come from the fact that GALA has been able to keep this lane relatively pushed up. Good roam coming in from Ming, and we saw the crowd control execution. Alistar goes in first. You have yellow card plus hookshot to line it up. So very easy play being commenced here. I like, Ziv actually never got a chance to use his flash, but, you know, he actually doesn't burn the summoner right here. So at the end of the day, it's a good find coming out for Camille, but not an entirely unacceptable loss on the side of Rogue Warriors.
Getting that Rift Herald's going to feel real nice to round that up, because RNG might have the 1k gold lead, but excuse me, that can be pretty much equalized by Rogue Warriors now with that objective picked up. Don't know why English was so hard for me today, but it is. The thing I wanted to kind of talk about here, Clement, is the fact that for Rogue Warriors, like, there should be an acceptable amount of early game to mid game loss in gold, right? When you're the team that outscales, when you're the team that can set up quite easily, it feels like RNG really need to snowball hard and make it so it is impossible for Rogue Warriors to farm safely in lanes.
Now, frankly, I think with a champion like Seraphine that is incredibly strong in the team fights, and Mundo that has a decisive edge later on against Udyr, it's perfectly acceptable for Rogue Warriors to actually give over a few kills. I think the only thing they want to prevent is just Haro from just not being able to clear effectively early on. That's definitely a thing of Mundo. If Mundo gets first blooded in his jungle, level 3, level 4, then he actually has a lot of trouble actually clearing. So they've avoided that completely. They didn't allow him to fall down. So I think they're in a decently good position. And if I were them, I'd be happy to just sit here and scale.
Well, they're not going to wait for now. At the very least, after clearing the wave, RNG want to contest the dragon. And note, this is going to be an ocean dragon, so we could get a mountain rift. For a team like Rogue Warriors, that could be amazing, but depends on securing this dragon as Destiny's being used again. This is the second one from Cryin. Locks down Kai Xuan, and, you know, welcome back to the LPL, brother. You can't be free in these lanes or outside of, with a Twist of Fate up and available. 4 versus 5 with Dragon right in front.
I love that play. That was a textbook engage coming out over from RNG. They have the pink over the wall. Make sure the Alistar is not going to get spotted out. They roam towards the bottom side. Good position on the Twisted Fate, and they also stop the dredge line too.
Ignite goes down. Betty puts that Blade Whirl up, half health after's all said and done. Ming was thinking about diving, but I believe they spotted Haro out and stopped. In the meantime, at the very least, RNG will pick up the dragon. Haro comes down, throws a Mundo File and misses that one, but still, turret plating goes over to GALA, and RNG maintaining a 1,700 gold lead, just about 2,000 in the first 11-12 minutes of the game.
Unfortunately, you know, GALA doesn't get to experience the soul-crushing white-collar jobs that Mundo would have assigned to him. He escapes from that one. I'd say right now, like, RNG actually are in a pretty good position as they've continuously had priority over this mid jungle, and I think we are going to start to see Haro getting targeted out right here. They're already setting up for a lot of deep vision, and if this doesn't lead into Haro actually getting targeted, I think at the very least they are going to try and zone Ziv out from his top wave.
Well, Wei's trying to be aggressive, but I think he's walking into the den of wolves. Xiaohu's about to come in too, but Ming has roamed up. That's the difference. Cryin without the ultimate, but has flash to get over the wall. Blue buff secured. A body slam, an explosive cast, but it's dodged away. They engage with the Hex Deck ultimatum. Clutch from RNG, but it depends on the follow-up. There's a two-man headbutt. Polarize the encore. Layers through onto Cryin and Xiaohu. The headbutt after headbutt. The knock-up after knock-up. And Rogue Warriors collapse completely. Kaishun with the ultimate wins the fight. Forge picks up the kill. He gets sung at. And for Rogue Warriors, that's all you need.
This is what I was talking about. Rogue Warriors have that sledgehammer. Sure, RNG do have great pick, but if they don't finish off crucial targets soon enough, they don't have the sustained damage to actually cut through Rogue Warriors' front lines. And that was a perfect showcase of this. I mean, just look at this fight and how poorly it started. Ziv actually misses out on his entire ultimate, and Rogue Warriors are still able to win with Forge coming in and finding 3 people with that encore. Then it becomes a bounce house as you see Ziv going back in again with that body slam, and you know, there's just not enough damage right here. Cryin after the first initial rotation, he's basically tickling guys like Ziv and Haro. He doesn't have that damage to go all the way through.
And there goes the early game lead at 13 minutes in. You've got an even gold standing. In fact, Rogue Warriors actually have a small 200 gold lead. And Forge in a good position now after the kill. Mundo gets his smash, and now they're ready to go bot. The Herald's actually just been placed down. That'll be blocked by RNG, so you take that as a win, of course, for the red side, but still, now you've got the problem that Rogue Warriors are getting, you know, closer towards the mid-game. Lane deficits decrease after the play. All but Xiaohu, I'd say, because he's up in this top side just clearing away, while Ziv was staying at base for a little bit too long. Not too sure what happened. Didn't get the full information there, but it could have been after the reset of the team fight.
Yeah, I think it was just the team. I'm not sure if the Herald was just taken. Oh no, it actually is still up. So the second Herald is still coming back onto the map, but it definitely felt like there was a bit of a misplay coming out from the top side of Rogue Warriors. They could have dropped the Herald in the top side straight after the fight. They didn't do so, so they didn't get anything out of the objective when they're rotating back into the bot lane. A little bit of a misused opportunity right there. I definitely think that they should have been able to get that 320 gold.
So RNG pull back, and the gold lead comes back in small favor of them. Gold lead not really worth talking about right now. I think we should be focusing on the fact that RNG are 2 dragons deep, and while that was a great play from Rogue Warriors sooner than we should have expected, they still have to continue to hold out and stop RNG from getting towards Soul Point. Explosive cast used onto Xiaohu, but Ziv going to take a punch too many. He'll get knocked up, and knocked up with a scissor, of course, as Wei's about to come on in. This is not looking good. He used the explosive cast, hook shot into walk shot, the body slam. Fantastic as Wei tanks it up. They burn a teleport too. It's encore!
Oh, no.
But Xiaohu is gone, and
that was
Forge
so much
TP.
wasted. You know, I really feel like Ziv let himself get a little bit too low. After the explosive cast, there was still a cannon minion under tower, so he wasn't able to get the trade back. And that definitely looked like Xiao was able to buffer his precision protocol to get the true damage right after the hookshot tick. So very well done there. He finds the instant kill, very clear exit. And just look at how much Rogue Warriors are actually bleeding out here. It's a top lane kill, it's a teleport, it's a move from the bot lane. So, I don't know, I think Rogue Warriors are putting themselves into a lot of holes right here in order to claw themselves back out with the Herald.
Because we can also mention after this play comes through, because Herald's just been picked up, I think Haro's going to drop it down here to push down mid, that for RNG, GALA getting gold, Xiaohu pulling out gold as well, that there's going to be a real issue dealing with these core carries, as Haro may have gone a bit too deep. He's going to get run stunned and done. He gets burnt down. Xiaohu flashes away. Depth charge only onto 1 this time, but knocked on back. GALA picks up the kill. Everfrost fantastic as well. And RW this time, the Den of Wolves. Looks like a bit of puppy action. As Wei gets the stun, the explosive cast does absolutely nothing. And Cryin comes in to savor the victory. RNG this time. They'll take back the goal.
Very strong team fight coming out from RNG. They collapse on all sides, and critically, there is no ultimate from Forge. His Encore was still on cooldown, and they don't find the use for it. They weren't able to seal the ramp. RNG charged straight forward and find the extra kills. It was just, I feel like it was Rogue Warriors actually overextending a little bit. They didn't really have the ultimates for the team fights in that situation, and they shouldn't have entertained the 5v5 at all.
And now, like, let's put out that earlier fight from Rogue Warriors going well in the bin, because it doesn't mean anything anymore. Yes, the scaling's there, but Soul Point coming up very early into the game. 5 minutes time, that'll be 22, and that'll be 4 dragons for RNG if they can get that, and a mountain dragon that will keep the fights going longer, will be a pain to deal with. There's so much I want to talk about here, and we're first going to have a look at the fight and how Xiaohu starts this off by a good dodge, and Rogue Warriors are just in this awkward area.
Rogue Warriors actually charge and go in for the fight first after Wei. Look at their positioning. They can't even control their own ramps right here. And both of these members don't have their ultimates coming down throughout this fight. So this is Rogue Warriors walking themselves into a very bad trap situation. The teleports kind of come down late, and we saw a great use of the Buster shot coming out from GALA, you know, just bouncing Haro around in the Hextech ultimatum and killing him super early on, making sure he couldn't actually do any of the chase down. So Rogue Warriors could take fights like this, but they definitely need to wait for their ultimates, and I think at this point they still need to wait for more scaling to come in.
Yeah.
As we do see finally the Moonstaff being completed here.
Yeah, there's Clement, I want to ask you, is it just about the movement speed for the Moonstaff here? I mean, if we have time, of course, but there's no real big AP threat apart from, well, I mean, Mundo's Q scales off Magic Pen, right? So what is the Moonstaff for? Just for the movement speed in these fights with the W? Maybe it doesn't matter because he's probably going to die here. Yep, Forge, how do you get out? The answer may shock you.
You don't. So the AP scaling is, it's somewhat of a side thought. Like, there's a lot of champions with good AP scalings that you might not even think of. Something like Nautilus and Gragas can actually get some good value out of it, but never mind.
I don't know if Ming's caught out. I think this is a bit of a ruse. RNG were just spotted up top here, so Rogue Warriors had no business being here. A great flash from Kaixuan, but you know what? He's still going to die anyway. Everfrost there, Buster shot. Well, if it wasn't entered, GALA a little bit too trigger happy himself. At the very least, he pulls it way too early.
GALA just showing that that was definitely intentional, flashing all the emotes he possibly can.
Clement, after that fight, you know, we're running out of time to talk, and I have so many more questions to ask you, but why Rogue Warriors were there, then they weren't. I feel like this game has just gone from bad to worse.
Yeah, I think Rogue Warriors really need to think further ahead in these team fights. They are a sustained damage comp. I don't think catching people out actually makes sense for them, especially on targets like Alistar.
Oh, yeah.
So I would really want to see them have actually held on to the early game a bit better. They were like only 600 gold behind after the top lane, before the top lane play and the dragon play. So I just felt like they were a little bit too rushed in their execution. Yep. And now with the 6,000 gold, we are definitely seeing Tristana being able to burst through the front line. While as before, I think Gragas and Mundo would have been unkillable with this type of a lead, especially with the Kraken Slayer on GALA. That unkillable Mundo, that Mundo go where he pleases, is definitely not the case anymore.
And what I love is the itemization for RNG to show us that, okay, they're so far ahead, they've got 2-3 items, but they're not worried about the front line anymore. You know, you got a Trinity Force Camille who's really just looking to hit down Betty, Forge, and leave the front line to people, you know, like Cryin, who's got the Morellonomicon, so he's going to have that Magic Pen, the Grievous Wounds, excuse me. And then we have the Kraken Slayer, which is just such a good frontline dealing damage item, so a great position here for RNG. Xiaohu's demanding respect here with his Camille, and meanwhile Cryin's doing the same thing in a side lane, and Rogue Warriors will have to be spread thin if they want to deal with any of these side lane threats.
Yep, RNG are just buffering their gold lead right now until they can make the finishing kills.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say boogieing, Clement. RNG are boogieing, and Haro is not. He's 1-4, and Mundo is getting smashed as Cryin will use the Destiny just to go to mid lane. Baron's up, though. You know what? Let's do Baron.
Very easy play for them. I think the best move Rogue Warriors can do at this point is just try to sneak away the Drake. But even then, it's 40 seconds away. This is a beautiful staggered objective position.
Yeah.
RNG can probably go strength to strength without any opposition. You know, honestly, if Haro just died a little bit later and allowed them to take that Drake, it would have taken off so much pressure. But RNG are even going to be able to sneak in a full recall before heading over there. This is just kind of sad, as Rogue Warriors, I feel like they are forced to take this team fight.
It is. It's like, you know, it's literally like knowing that, you know, it's all going to go away someday. You know, things don't last forever. And you feel that depression in your heart, and you think, God, I wish life was a little better than this. But Rogue Warriors, unfortunately, they're going to go head first into it. Now, that's a good response. However, with the double knock up in the backline and the encore, maybe they can turn it, but into the backline, Samira only hits on one. The explosive cast separates the fight. Rogue Warriors actually have a chance here, but Weiwei's being an annoying bear in the backline, and GALA is at full health. You know what? Worth a shot, but for RW, you were not bringing this game back with the item discrepancy you have. Take a gold card to the face and run, Mundo, run. Everfrost gold card. Oh no, not close enough as RNG. We'll take the fight, take the ace, take the Mountain Soul, and you know, the game was already theirs too.
RNG just punching the card for Corporate Mundo, telling him that he should go back to his kids and family right here.
You're fine.
And getting that Mountain Soul as well. It's just, I think Rogue Warriors do have the tankiness. You could see in the team fight, it actually took quite a while for them to actually get through the surround sound healing, get through the Mundo healing. But at the end of the day, there's just not enough damage coming out from Rogue Warriors. Betty wasn't able to get in amongst the trees against RNG. He wasn't dealing that much damage, and RNG was actually just able to out-attrition them in that team fight. This would have been a winning fight for Rogue Warriors if they were on equal footing.
Yeah.
As we can see, just too much gold in the pockets right here. The crowd control goes down, but the damage still isn't there. And Betty actually gets stopped by Wei. Really good find, stopping the Infernal trigger, making sure that damage doesn't continue to go through. Just a little bit too little, too late on the side of Rogue Warriors.
Bear greater than Frankenstein's monster. So, you know, that's what we've learned here today. 4-1-9 from Wei, and the speedy boy stopping the Samira ulti, excuse me. I just realized we have a lot of champions that start with S. Samira, Senna, Seraphine. I think that's it, actually, so maybe not.
So, I think what you're seeing is, like, there's a lot of female champions that start with S, and, you know, traditionally in, like, the Latin language and the, or as an Anglo language, a lot of female names do start with S, and that's why I think it's so congested right there. Okay. It's just, like, the, It's kind of interesting, you know, just learning about the linguists.
Siffer, I pulled up the champion roster. Yeah. I missed out.
A lot of female champions start with S.
Wow, Sona. I'll be honest. I asked chat. Yeah. You know, I do cheat on chat. Thank you guys. And Set as well. We missed out. Set, the hunkiest man in all of League of Legends. If anyone looked like Set, I'll be honest, I would be very jealous. As Rogue Warriors, meanwhile, while I've been talking and absolutely saying bonkers nothing, Rogue Warriors getting pushed in. There's not much they can do. Rogue Warriors are getting spread thin by RNG, and Royal Never Give Up going to get engaged on. That's Ming. Gold card gets blocked out by Betty. Now hookshot, wall shot, the third inhibitor being pressured. That's the encore, but it's dodged by Xiaohu. The knockup from Kaishuan, only onto one. That's not good enough. Wei is the bear being annoying in the back line. GALA jumps on in, blows Betty away. And Ziv get knocked up one more time. There goes Ming. It's time for a blue card to get the kill, and RNG can do no wrong anymore. 25 minutes in the game. They're going to end this one quick, smart.
Very decisive game coming out from RNG. Very strong from start to finish. I think the team fights, again, deciding factor right here. They were able to catch out Rogue Warriors before they could get their front line set up.